Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and I'm an Airbnb host and real estate investor, and I'm giving you straightforward information on how to build wealth through short-term rentals. So you've decided to get into the short-term rental game. You've seen the returns that Airbnb hosts are making, and you know that short-term rentals are one of the best asset classes in real estate because they provide pretty big returns and they are a great way to build short and long-term wealth. So what's next? Well, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the steps that you need to take to launch your first Airbnb in 2023. So if that sounds like something you would like to learn more about, then just keep watching. The first step is to decide on what model that you are going to pursue, and there are 4. The first, which is my favorite, is to house hack, and that's where you buy or you already own a property and you rent out part of that home, or if you live in a multifamily, you rent out another unit as a short-term rental. This is a really great strategy because you can get into a property for very little money. You can put down as little as 3 to 5% if you use an FHA mortgage and own an investment property. The next model is to buy an investment property. Now this would be a property where you don't live, but you rent the entire thing out as a short-term rental. This strategy costs a little bit more than a house hack because you're having to put 20 to 25% down, which out of all of the options, which is why it's my least favorite, but it's still a very profitable strategy. The third is rental arbitrage, and this is where you don't own any property at all, but you rent a property and then sublease it out on sites like Airbnb and VRBO. This is a great strategy if you don't have that much money, or if you don't have great credit and you're otherwise not available to buy a home. This is a way that you can quickly get a unit and get it up listed on Airbnb. And then the fourth model is where you really have very little risk, but your rewards are a little less, and you are acting as a property manager. You are hosting a listing on Airbnb that somebody else owns, and you are taking a percentage of the gross income for the services that you provide. So I'm going to be focusing on buying a property that is a house hack, because that is a strategy that I use. Well, I use all 4 of the strategies that I mentioned, but this is my favorite strategy because it's such a great way to get your housing costs down to 0, which then allows you to use all of the money that you are earning from Airbnb, from your job, and to put that into other investments. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. Okay, so the first step is if you want to buy a property, buy a house hack, and rent part of it out on Airbnb, the first step is to get your finances in order. The first step within that is to make sure that you have a good credit score and that it is accurate. You can go through most banks and they will offer you a free credit service usually, and it's not a hard pull on your credit, meaning it's not going to count as a strike against you. And you can just take a look to see what your credit score is. In order to be eligible for the best rates on a home loan, you want your credit score to be at least above a 750, if not in the 800s. You're going to be eligible for the lowest rates and the best terms. So take a look at your credit score and address any inaccuracies, and if you have any outstanding debts, pay those off. Once you have your credit score and it is nice and clean and it is really high, then you're going to go to a lender and you are going to get pre-qualified. Okay, once you have your credit score in great shape, the next step is to get pre-approved. And this is where you submit your financial information, including your bank statements, your pay stubs, your last 2 years of your tax returns, and you submit those to your preferred lender, and they will assess all of your financials and tell you how much of a home loan you can qualify to receive. And that in turn is going to tell you how much you can spend on a home. A great way to find a lender is to go to a real estate investment group or to look on websites like BiggerPockets or other investment websites and try to find names of mortgage lenders who are brokers, because they are going to have access to more mortgage products than your typical bank would. They're going to be able to see what multiple lenders are offering, and they'll be able to find a product that is the best fit for you, rather than working with a bank who may only have just a few products that you would be eligible for. You're just going to have many more options depending on your specific circumstances. Okay, so your finances are in order, you're pre-qualified, you know how much you can spend. The next step is to find a realtor. And you don't want to find just any realtor. You want to look for a realtor who specializes in working with real estate investors. And there are a couple of reasons for this. The first is that the criteria that you are going to be looking for as an investor are going to be pretty different than the criteria that your typical home buyer is going to be looking for. For example, the things that are really going to matter to you are going to be location and price. And for a family, they might be looking, of course, for location and price, but they want to be wowed. They're going to fall in love with a home. And as an investor, you're going to have to make sure that the home that you wind up buying fits your criteria. Is it in the right location? Is it in the right price? Is it in the right condition? Or can I get it in the right condition? And will it earn enough money for me to be able to turn a profit? Your finances are in order. You pre-qualify, so you know how much you can spend. The next step is to find a realtor. Not just any realtor, but one who specializes in working with real estate investors. You may have to kiss a lot of frogs when it comes to finding that first property that meets all of your criteria. You're not necessarily looking for wow factor or looking to be in a great neighborhood for school, because your criteria are very different than your average buyer. You're going to want to find something in a great location that's close to specific kinds of amenities. You are also going to want something that is going to be able to earn a nice profit, so it may need to be within a certain price bracket. And so because of that, you're probably going to have to look at more than 10 homes before you're able to identify that one that really fits your criteria. So you're going to have to find a realtor who's going to be able to have the patience to show you as many homes as you need to in order to find that perfect place. One place that I recommend finding a realtor who specializes in working with investors is going to a local real estate investment group. You can find any of these on Facebook Marketplace or sites like Meetup or Grid, and find in-person meetups in your town, and these are often going to have realtors and other investors that are all kind of doing the same thing and who are going to understand what you need, and they're going to be able to point you in the right direction. Okay, your finances are in order. You know how much you can spend. The next step is to find an investor-friendly realtor. This investor is going to understand how much profit you're going to need to make, therefore how much of a home you can buy, and they're going to understand how to help you find a home that's going to fit all of the criteria that you have. So this type of realtor is going to be very different than one who works with your traditional home buyer. Places that you can find a real estate investor-friendly realtor are local real estate meetup groups and places like Bigger Pockets, as well as local Facebook groups. Once you have found your investor-friendly realtor, the next step is to communicate to them all of the criteria that you have. So what's the condition of the home that you would like to buy? Does it need to be move-in ready? Are you willing to do minor rehab, or are you willing to do a major rehab? Consider the amount of time that you have to get this place ready and what your budget is. That's really going to determine what type of home that you buy. And once you're able to find a home that meets your criteria, put in that offer quickly. Okay, so you are under contract and you are going to be buying that home in about 30 days. What should you do in the meantime? You need to find your real estate team. The team is going to include your cleaner, a handyman, pest control, contractors like your electrician, your plumber, and then you're going to need a landscaper. By far, the cleaner is the most important team member out of all of the people that I just listed, because they are going to be your eyes and ears on the ground, and they are going to be making sure that your place is ready for each guest. They're also going to tell you when you're running low on supplies, when something needs repair, or when a guest has caused damage. Places to find a cleaner include local Facebook groups and get referrals from your realtor, from other contractors. You're going to want to find a cleaner who specializes in Airbnbs because they know the short turnaround time that they have in order to get a place clean, and they're just going to be much more familiar with all of the steps that need to happen on a regular basis on an Airbnb because it differs from a regular home. Another member of your team is going to be your photographer. And you are going to want to find a photographer who not only specializes in real estate photography, but who also specializes in short-term rentals. There are specific types of photos that you want to take, and you're going to want to take them at golden hour, and be sure to get square crop photos. And all of these things are really going to matter in terms of having your place stand out on the Airbnb website. And you can find a photographer for about $300 to $500. Okay, so you are under contract, you have found your team members. The next step is to start ordering your furnishings. And I would wait until you are pretty sure that the home is not going to fall through on the contract, that you are going to go ahead and buy it. But you're going to want to order some of your larger items quickly because they can take time in order to arrive. And those include things like your couch, your tables and chairs, your beds, any larger items. Those can sometimes be on back order. They can just take 6 to 8 weeks to be delivered. So you're going to want to be able to order those as far in advance as you can so that they can arrive on time so that you can launch when you want to launch. After you've ordered those big items, then you're going to have to get the other accessories, things like all the items for your kitchen, for your bathroom, your linens, any accessories or art. You want to order all of those things so that by the time you close, you are able to get in that home, set it up, and get it listed within a week or two. The other thing that I would order at this time is your smart lock. I highly encourage you to get the Slage On Code because it integrates with property management software and it automates the guest code process. And it is a really popular item and it can be really tough to get. You can find it sometimes on Amazon, but I actually have really good luck getting it at my local Lowe's. All right, so you've gotten your furnishings, you've set it all up. The next step is to get your photos taken. As I mentioned previously, you're gonna have to get that photographer on board and get them to take photos during golden hour. And that's just before sunset, depending on where you live and what time of year it is. That can be anywhere from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. But you're gonna wanna be sure to get pictures of each of the rooms, all of your major amenities, and some great shots of the exterior. And this is really where it comes into play. At golden hour, you're gonna wanna get a nice shot of the exterior at golden hour so that it's something that really stands out on the Airbnb website. As soon as you've gotten all of your photos back, it's time to set up your listing. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you have an Airbnb account and that you have also the payout process set up in Airbnb. Make sure that your bank account is included, and then you're just going to set up your listing. Now, this process is really important because you're going to have to describe your property in a way that's very appealing and in a way that stands out from the competition. If you want examples of that, or if you want a video where I go into more depth in how to create an Airbnb listing, let me know down in the comments. Okay, so you've got your listing, copy is all set up, you've uploaded your photos, they look great. The next step is to hit publish and then set up your property management software as well as your smart pricing software. These need your actual listing to be able to integrate with Airbnb, which is why you don't set those things up until after your Airbnb listing is up. I like and use Price Labs for my automated pricing, and I use Guesty for hosts, which automates the communication to my cleaners and to my guests, and it provides a few other features that I really love and rely on. So once your listing is up, you've set up all of your automations. The next step is to set up your standard operating procedures. And this is really important because you're probably not going to be at your place doing a lot of the work. Rather, you're going to be hiring people, your team members that I mentioned previously, to do the work for you. So you're going to have to guide them step by step through the process that you want them to follow when they are at your property. For example, for your everyday turns that your cleaner is going to do, the cleans in between guests, what are the things that you want your cleaner to do? And compare that to if you want to do periodic deep cleans. So what's the difference between a deep clean and an everyday turn? Well, during a deep clean, you're probably doing things like wiping baseboards, cleaning off windows, whereas those things aren't getting done in a quick turn. It's usually just stripping the beds, wiping down surfaces, and cleaning the floors. That's going to be a much quicker turnaround than a deep clean, and you'll want to distinguish those for your cleaner. So be sure to get your standard operating procedures for all of your team members, for all of the things that you want done on your house. Okay, so that's it. You decided what model you wanted to pursue, you got your finances in order, you found a realtor, you got pre-qualified, you found a place, you got your team members, you wrote up your listing copy, got furnished, all of that good stuff, and you are live. Congratulations. It's a lot of work to get an Airbnb up and running. What else would you like to learn about running an Airbnb business? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.